right. Well, first, thank you all so much for being here. So excited. A lot of people in the room. That means basketball season is around the corner. I know we had the open practice. A lot of you all were there, so thank you all for that. A big shout out to Cammie for bringing the idea to me to give an opportunity for us to connect with you all before the season started. So thank you all so much. It's a new day. I'm excited about this team and staff. I know everyone wants to talk about last year, but we have officially closed the chapter. We took the proper time to reset, refocus, and reflect. I learned a lot about myself as a person, as a coach, and so did this team. So as of today, we are 0-0, a new year, a new team, a new staff, a new mindset, new goals. What I love about this team right now, we are embracing the work and what it takes to win. Whatever shortcomings that we do have, we've talked about the built different mentality, as you'll see on our shirts, built different. We have to be willing to do the intangibles in order for us to win. And that looks like the culture players. So if you see any of our players, go ahead and quiz them. I've quizzed them all summer. They better pass. But the culture player is really what it takes to play here, what it takes to stay here, what it takes to be successful. And that is being coachable, having a winning mentality, relentless defenders, loyalty, being a good teammate to each other, also having a work ethic. That's what we're looking for. Playing with the high motor. I tease them. I don't want to figure out if you have a heartbeat or not. I need you to already have that. So all gas, no brakes. And so when we think about the culture player, we had 3 awards this summer. The Wildcat Award went to Cassidy Rowe. That really is a player that exudes everything that we want in a Kentucky Wildcat. And so that was big for her. Most improved was Emma King. I like where her mind is right now, playing a 5th year, playing with a lot of confidence. She's always been willing to work, but really stepped up in a leadership role this year, not just leading by example, but being vocal. And then the MVP of this summer was Asia Petty. We'll get to that later, but she had an unbelievable summer, so I'm proud of her. So when I think about this program, obviously I am the leader of the program. The staff and I will set the culture and the tone for this particular team. However, I am so proud of our leadership council this year, which is made up of Maddie, Emma, Naya, and Petty and Cass both got voted in this year. And so it's one thing for me to set the tone and culture. It's another thing for our players to have a player-led culture. When they hold themselves accountable in the locker room and they echo our vision as a staff, now we're in business. And speaking of the staff, so excited, have new people on the court, but let me tell y'all, we've always had 4 coaches on the court. This year, the NCAA has allowed 2 additional coaches. So let me just tell you, you're talking about chaotic. 6 people on the court from 4 is a lot different. So now you just add this up, 6 coaches on the floor, a group of practice players that I love, my little unsung heroes, but they think they can coach as well. So I have 6 coaches, the practice team, and all of my managers. So that's a lot of coaches on the floor, a lot of people talking, but it's made it for a fun practice. But blessed to have this staff. Wouldn't be able to do what I do without this coaching staff. They tell me that I'm the boss, but if you come hang around practice or in the office, trust me, that is not the case. But this group, we work very hard, but we have fun together. So Coach Butts, Coach Hoover, they're vets on the staff, they're returning. They definitely hold me accountable, both former head coaches. And if you hadn't checked out our podcast, check it out with myself and Coach Butts. That's a lot of friendship and a lot of time. They told me I need to be on social media more. I didn't think my life was that interesting, but supposedly it is. And so check out our podcast. And then welcome to the staff, Coach Crystal Kelly, a Kentucky girl, a Kentucky Miss Basketball. I joked with her when I called her to interview her about the job. I said, now listen, I know you're not going to say no, because when I recruited you at Western Kentucky, I want y'all to think about this. She was number 42 at Sacred Heart. When she came on her visit, there was 2 things that we did to make sure that we stood out. One, she loved Qdoba, and they didn't have one at Bowling Green at the time. We drove all the way to Louisville to get Qdoba, put it on the heaters, and drove it back to Bowling Green so she could have it. And we also carved 42 pumpkins with the number 42. I don't think I've carved a pumpkin since, but she did say yes. So I told her I'll be waiting for my yes, which I'm so glad that she did. And then we have Coach Huth and Coach Rhodes, new energy, new ideas, and both have a love and passion for the game. Want to give my support staff a shout out. They are the team behind the team to make sure that this program runs efficiently and effectively. Last, the players, the reason why we are here. First, for bragging rights, I want to shout them out. 21 straight semesters with over a 3.0 this summer. Also, we talked about servant leadership. They've been out in the community all summer long, including this morning. They were packing for God's Pantry at 7:45 this morning. We've done the American Heart Association. So everybody was sending us messages on why Maddie and I had on red. Well, trust me, it was a tough go. But, you know, anything to help the women out, we were willing to do. But I don't know if y'all have checked it out. Maddie had this great idea about our catwalk. So I don't know if y'all saw our model strut, but I think we better stick to basketball. But that was a good time. But I love this team. They've been so much fun to coach. I go hard at them in practice, but this group, I truly feel like I can be myself as a coach. They embrace the hard work and me holding their feet to the fire. We can laugh and joke about it either in practice or after practice. And trust me, our group chat goes off nonstop. I usually have to say, I need you all to find something to do with yourselves or get in a group chat without the coaches. But this group has organically come together. They took it upon themselves to learn each other, grow, and bond, and everything didn't have to be so scripted, which has helped us on and off the court. And, you know, I like that they want to have fun. They work, but they want to have fun. So I don't know if you got to see, but at the end of the summer practice, they came to practice with colored wigs on. And I walked out and I said, I don't know what's happening, but I like your vibe. I like your energy. As long as you're ready to practice, keep your wigs on. But for all of them to have it on, I at least knew that they talked about it. So that gave me great joy. And then they make fun of me all the time. They give me a hard time because I'll tell them, bow up in practice or, you know, commit to being built different. And so we'll get in the huddle and I'll say something good about somebody. And so Mimi said the other day, she was like, yeah, you like that bow up, coach? I said, yeah, listen, prove me wrong. I like it. And who knew that if you put a karaoke machine in front of this group of girls, we do not lack personality. They came to our house. We were going to have the conditioning test 2 days later, and they did karaoke they sang the song Take Me to the King for Coach Taylor and put it in the group chat. So I like that they're willing to work hard, but they are built different. But the most important thing that I like about them, their competitive spirit. They are going to compete in practice. There's never a dull moment. Now, usually for me, if they tie in a drill, that's a loss. Well, let me tell you, they are not having that. There is going to be no ties. And so we had a defensive intensity drill last week, and neither one got the stop. So Maddie said, double or nothing, coach? I was like, sure. You're going to run 2 suicides if you don't get the stop? She was like, yes. Meanwhile, the freshman, Janae, she's in the back. She's like, no double or nothing. I was like, well, just get the stop. She's like, no double or nothing. And Maddie was like, yeah, we're going to bow up, coach. We're going to get double or nothing. So they got the stop. Their group got off. Next group came on. I was like, y'all want the same deal? They were like, yes. So needless to say, they both got the stops. But when we talk about competitive spirit as a coach, you want that drive. You want them to compete night in and night out. So literally just last week, we should have got kicked out of the training table because they decided with the coaches over there to talk about who's been winning the sprint. So we have a win challenge. And if you win the sprint, you get a point. So Anaya Russell has decided she is the fastest on the team. But Mimi wasn't having it. So I said, listen, guys, we can clear this up real quick. When we get on the baseline, you all line up right next to each other, and you all sprint it out. Or any little things like Maddie, her team was winning. White came on against the practice team, and they took the lead. And I happened to look over, and Maddie is stomping on the sideline. I literally 2 feet tantrum on the sideline, getting after one of the practice players because he shot an air ball, and the other team, our white team, got the rebound and took the lead. But I enjoy the competitive spirit. We are 12 deep this year, 3 newcomers. But let's talk about Asia Petty. She has made a transformation, mind and body, really committed. We had a tough conversation at the end of last year, and what I can appreciate about her, she embraced it, and she took it and ran with it. She looks like a different person on the floor. She can sprint up and down the court. She committed to getting in shape. She committed to eating right, and also mindset. It's not an attack. We're trying to push her to be better. Maddie, she's a pro, playing with a lot of confidence right now, really has found her voice, her place as a leader on this team, looking for her to have a big year. ST, Sanaya is who we call ST, Mimi have really grown up this year, so we're looking for them to make a big difference for us. Naya Russell is another veteran that we have. She's talented. She's been practicing well. And when she's playing well, we are a different basketball team. Naya is out, still rehabbing, but doing a great job. A big shout out to her. She got to do her Nike internship this summer. So kudos to her. I've already talked about Emma King, but I know she's going to step up for us this year. And then when you think about our newcomers, BK, who we call is Brooklyn Miles, she just has that dog about her, that edge, and she's going to compete. And our rookies, Jordy and Janae, have been doing a great job of learning and picking up what we're trying to get done. So a new journey to be had. We are counting down the days to madness. I was told it sold out in 38 minutes, so I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be one of the most special entrances that I've ever had, so I hope everybody is in their seats and ready. We look forward to playing in Rupp this year. All the noise and construction going on. Our locker room right now is gymnastics, so we'll be having a team meeting, and they'll be throwing things around Memorial Coliseum, and the players are looking, and I'll have to remind them to get back, but no complaints here. We call that progress. So look forward to playing in Transy, Rupp Arena all year, but thank you, Transy and Georgetown, for hosting us. A new year, and our motto, why not us? A new year.
Awesome. We will open it up for questions.
Do you notice something different with just being an older group, that they're catching on to things quicker and maybe a little bit better because of their age?
Yes, a veteran team does make a difference in practice. You don't need as many reps. They understand the concepts, but also going back to veteran experience at that point guard position with Maddie, with Brooklyn Miles and even ST, a year older, along with Cassidy Rowe. So that does help with veteran experience.
And all of that, you had less turnover or not turnover, but less new faces coming in this year. Do you feel like that's helped with the chemistry with this group, just that they knew each other?
Well, yes, and obviously going through what we went through last year, and then them really taking ownership of we want better for ourselves, we want better for the program. They spend a lot of time together. The staff spends a lot of time with them as well, and so it's truly a sisterhood, and so that does make a difference because there's one thing to have off-court chemistry, but you need off-court chemistry and on-court chemistry, which we have this year.
How would you compare that chemistry? Exciting runs in the SEC tournament the last couple of years. Is it something about, obviously winning one of them, is it something about your team that they embrace that, extra excitement, and how do you try to instill into them to perform that way in the regular season?
Yeah, so we do need to carry the momentum that we had in the SEC tournament this past season into this season, and that's what everybody expected us to be and how we needed to be playing. It took us longer to get going than what we had expected, but this year I think the chemistry on the court will help us early. We have a great non-conference schedule. Obviously, the conference is a gauntlet that the non-conference will prepare us. But I just think older, wiser, and more experienced at that guard spot will help us.
How would you compare the chemistry
What do you think is an improvement and a good expectation for the team this season? What are your marks with that and your expectations?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Going off that question, what are some of the things that you're going to look at for this team as improvements from last season?
Yeah, I think we need to be more consistent defensively. We have to lay our hat on the defensive end. We have to be disruptive. Even though we forced 20.7 turnovers a year ago, we need to make sure that we are converting off of our defensive stops, being solid. One of the things Marks will look at, not only our defensive stops, but our transition offense. How are we scoring? How are we finishing? Our half-court execution, we've really put a big emphasis on that, moving the ball, sharing the ball, which this team does very well, and taking care of the basketball. We need to be 12 or less turnovers and forcing 20 plus. That will be a big mark for us to watch.
We'll go Zach and Kyra.
How would you compare the chemistry? You talked about it a lot to the last few years that you've been here, and how do you see that translating early on to the court like you were talking about?
Yeah. I think last year we were talking about off-court chemistry. We couldn't get it going on the court. This year, 12 is a lot easier to manage, first of all. And then with the veterans, they're holding each other accountable. So when they can hold each other accountable before the staff can even get to them, that's when you have the on-court chemistry and the trust with each other. So I think we'll see that correlate this season.
A lot of changes to the backcourt this offseason. How's the coaching staff approaching the point guard position this year?
Coach Huth is over the point guards, and same mentality and mindset. They are the coaches on the floor. Really try to put them in position in practice to lead, because when the ball is tipped in the air for the game, we should already be prepared, but also they are the coach and the voice on the floor until we can get to a timeout. So putting them in positions to lead, we've really been intentional about that. Whether we're playing a mini game or a scrimmage, they are leading the huddles. One of the things we put an emphasis on this year during a water break, if you come watch us, we are huddling. Get in the huddle. The point guards lead the huddle, so they get used to using their voice, and people get used to following their lead.
Kyra, you have one double-figure scorer from last year back. Where do you see your offense coming from? Who's going to score the points?
Oh, yes. So we returned Maddie Shear, obviously. But also, I just talked about we need to score off of our defense. We got to create some scoring off of our defense. And then Asia Petty gives us the post presence inside. So we need her to be a double-figure scorer for us, which she is more than capable. She showed glimpses of it last year, needed to be more consistent. And then you have the Mimi, Sanaya, and Anaya. We need all of those to score. You need a big three consistently. So one of those three every game. We need Maddie and Asia Petty to score consistently for us.
You talked a lot about.
You talked about Brooklyn Miles and her color of dog, I think, and her coming back to her home state. What do you see her role being with this team, and how does she fit in so far with this group?
Yes, it's great to have her back home. She understands the responsibility. She's appreciative to put the jersey on. Hometown kid, but she brings us that edge, competitive spirit. I love her defensive intensity. She's going to wear the basketball out. She takes pride in playing defense, but she understands how to push the tempo. She's going to get it, push the tempo, create for others, which takes pressure off Maddie sometimes at the point guard or any of the other guards that can play the combo. But she also has that veteran experience. So there's nothing like SEC experience, and she has that. But a winning mentality. So that's what we expect her to bring.
You talked a lot about the experience on this team, but you had two big add-ons, with Jordy and Janae. What have you seen from them, so far this summer?
Yes, I love our freshmen. They don't know what hit them right now, but I keep telling them it's a work in progress, 1% better every day. What I love about Jordy, she brings a confidence about herself. She'll get in practice and score, and she's going to talk to them, let them know. So she has a air about her, which is good. You want that. But I like her ability to shoot the ball, versatile. She can play the 3 and 4 position, has great size, athleticism, great feel for the game, still learning our concepts and our system, but as far as just natural basketball, great concepts. And then Janae, blue collar. She's going to do all the dirty work, going to work hard. She does not want to show us she's tired in practice, which I can appreciate. She's not going to bend over at her shorts, but she's just going to put her hands on her hips, and she's trying to breathe. And I'm like, it's okay to show us that you're a little tired, but her ability to finish in the paint and be coachable. So we look for both of those to contribute.
Kyra, what benefit as a program do you get from having not 1, not 2, but 3 Kentucky Miss basketballs on this team?
Well, bragging rights first for 3 Kentucky Miss basketballs, but I do think it is they wear it different. They wear the jersey different. They grew up watching this program, a love for this state, and they are excited about being at the flagship. So I just think they wear it different.
Where have you seen the biggest improvement from Emma so far this summer? Kind of how do you see her role translating into the first few games of the season?
Emma, I think the biggest is confidence. She's playing with a lot of confidence right now. I love her. She'll give it back to me. She drove baseline, and she might have tipped it out or turned it over, so I was giving her a hard time about it. And after practice, she was like, when you go back and watch film, I only have one coach. The rest of them, I made the shots. I was like, I'll take it. I'll make sure to call you after. But her ability to hit open shots, she's not thinking about it. She's just shooting the ball. But I like that she can put the ball 1-2 dribble, raise up, and now shooting it with confidence. And we need that. But I think what she brings, she gives us a glue piece on the floor, a steadiness. She understands the offense. She understands the defense, high basketball IQ. So she brings us steadiness, and that's what I need from her. Get on the court, knock down open shots, be where you're supposed to be defensively, and keep us together, glue piece.
Is the Leadership Council new for this season? And what type of leadership are you looking for specifically from Naya as she continues to recover?
No, the Leadership Council is not new. We've always had it. Now, Asia Petty and Cassidy Rowe, they're new to it. So that's good to have some new people. So Coach Kelly will be over that group. They'll meet with her. every week and talk about things that we need to get done on the floor, off the floor, any concerns that they have. Now, I will say, normally when they need something from me, the representative that they send is Emma King. So I told her, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Emma, but they always send Emma. But it puts ownership on them because we want them to own pieces of this program, and then you're more likely to do it. And then Naya, you know, we really challenged her. She's an unbelievable leader. You know, obviously wisdom into the post if we have two young ones, and Janae and Jordy, talking to them, giving them encouragement, but also overall just keeping us steady. Are we getting to class? Are we getting to study hall? Are we getting our extra shots up, and holding people accountable?
You said in your opening statement that, you know, it's a new year, new slate, 0-0. But when you're coming into this year, what have you sensed from this team's capability so far to make, you know, a solid run into the season?
Well, we have to be willing to do the things it takes to win, and being close is not good enough. We talk about we don't know what play it's going to be to get us over the hump to win, whether it's a box out, whether it's a defensive stop, whether it's that made layup or free throw. So just being intentional about every detail matters, every play matters, and every possession matters.
You said that you have learned a lot about yourself as a coach. What is one goal that you have personally for this season?
One goal for myself? To enjoy the moment. You know, I have a talented staff with me. I think take time to, you know, be focused, obviously detail-oriented in my approach, be prepared, but take time to enjoy the moment, enjoy the players, enjoy the staff, enjoy the game, because it can be fun. And for me, be steady, not too high, not too low. Stay right in the middle. You're gonna have some games that gonna be highs, you're gonna be low, but can I stay consistent in my approach?
Almost half of your talent is in-state talent. Was that intentional? And of course, there's yourself, Coach Kelly. What do you think that really means for your team?
You know, we just talk about trying to keep the most in-state talent home. But I just think it just means they're here. They love this program. They have a love for this state, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that this program is where it needs to be.
Mimi's one of those players. What can she do this year to take that next step forward?
You know, Mimi had a great summer, but she's playing with a lot of confidence, which we need. And I've really talked to her about being a two-way player. She was a great scorer in high school, and get back to that. Don't think too much. Play basketball. And if you can get to the rim and finish, get to the rim. Where a year ago, she was still trying to learn the offensive concepts. She was thinking so much that I think it took her out of her game. If you get it off the glass, go, make a play. And then I really challenged her to rebound the basketball, and then she brings a different defensive intensity because she can guard the 1 through the 4.
Kyra, there were times last year when Robin and Maddie were just going out there getting buckets, just kind of keeping your team in games. Obviously, with Robin now gone, is Maddie kind of embracing that role of just going to be the bucket getter sometimes and things?
Well, she's going to have to be a bucket getter, yes, and she knows that she can, and she will do that. But I also think having Asia Petty in the post that we can play inside out. We need that consistent scoring inside. So people have to play us honest. And then, like I said, one of the third guards are going to have to step up and score for us. So you have that big three. But make no question about it, Maddie will have to get buckets this year, and she will.
One or two more.
Coach, regarding the new staff members, what characteristics did you look for, and how do you think they're going to help the program?
Oh, well, great question. You know, the new staff, Coach Kelly, I wanted someone, obviously she had Kentucky ties, had been a recruiting coordinator, so she was able to fulfill that role, but also she was a talented post player herself, so that gave us another post coach on the floor, which she has been fantastic, and also someone that could relate to the players closer to their age, so that was important to me. Coach Huth and Coach Jamal, I wanted someone for player development, that's what they spent their time doing, dedicating their time to how each individual player could get better. And we used this summer to work on individual skill development all summer long. We were in small groups or individual work because I felt like if our individual talent got better and they were more confident, we would be better as a whole. So new ideas from them, coming from different systems. So that was extremely important to me.
Coach, you've got 3 home venues this year as we hear the hammers and saws next door.
Yes.
What's your message to the group with the fact that you're going to be sort of nomadic this year without the normal true home venue?
Any gym is home. Any gym is home. It's still going to be 94 feet. The goals are still going to be 10 feet high. Any gym home is home. And so we got to approach it just that way.